Okay, so let's check out the stories to expect in AM News. The FDA orders pharmaceutical retailers to immediately pull all Bliss GVS pharma drugs off their shelves. Meanwhile, Tobinco decides to withdraw their suit against the FDA. Also, slums mushroom around Accra as desperate measures by people to secure accommodation increases in the capital. So now let's settle for the details of the stories coming up in AM News. Now, the global trend of increased urbanization and population growth has given rise to the emergence and expansion of slums. The rise in incidence of slums in developing countries like Ghana, especially in the capital, continues to raise eyebrows. City authorities have either condemned or committed to the concerns of slum dwellers. In our series of slum dwelling, Yafuso Ajemfi brings you a special report on Osu Super Town, which is fast growing in the capital.
It is morning, and the people of Accra are just about waking up to a new day. Residents of this community are getting ready for the day's work. Their place of habitation is not as decent and safe as they would have wished for. They are compelled to live very close to the sea and in temporary structures. The purpose of the World Habitat Day is to reflect on the state of our towns and cities and the basic right to adequate shelter. Just behind the former seat of government is a growing slum known as the Osu Super Town. Authorities have not done anything about this community, and the livelihood of these people have not been improved in any way. This is not what they want. But the high cost of accommodation in plush areas and the high standard of living in these areas has forced them to settle for this. Structures at Osu Super Town are not different from any other slum community in the city of Accra, Ghana's capital. Most of the structures here are wooden, just a few are made from concrete. With limited spaces, families have to make do with these small rooms, which are poorly ventilated. History has it that settlers here were Ghanaian returnees from Nigeria who were later joined by other settlers as a result of rapid urbanization and increasing poverty in recent times. The 25-acre land was fully occupied and turned into a slum within a short period. Sanitation is very poor. There is no proper drainage, and the result is flooding anytime it rains. Indiscriminate disposal of refuse is drying up the lagoon, leaving it in this state. The once flowing Clotte Lagoon is now stagnant with weeds growing around it and now a breeding place for mosquitoes.
We are dying with mosquito. They used to come and spray, but when they spray, the day they will spray, then that day will be worse for us, mosquito, because when they spray, they say the spray is not killing the mosquito, but it's just killing the mosquito, this thing, eggs.
It's our own fault. We people living here have to unite and do proper cleanup every day. It's not one man's business. You see, I've been telling my people all the time, if they will agree with me.
Not only is sanitation a problem, water is a scarce commodity. Residents, in trying to stop defecation around the beach, have constructed private washrooms, but the recent utility hikes has affected its use.
Me say me bladder no into me into ya. Na but some be say be 1 CD a day. Ebi anopa 1 CD. Enyumle 50% just say obe bu so na se pipe ni ba. Na omuto woka mugu tank no nti eya. Price in through.
People will prefer Osu Super Town to any other part of Accra because accommodation is cheaper.
Rent for a single room this area will take you about 20 Ghana cedi or 25 Ghana cedis. And outside there will take you about 35 or 40. So because the rent is very low here, people are rationing in here to find a place to live.
We need money to develop the area. So if the government say they want to help us, it must stand firm. Because if here the governor could remember, here formerly just a tiny place, now here make big.
But some concerned citizens argue that the community could be developed better than its current status.
I believe we can create maybe 5 acres of it and build high-rise flats with bedrooms, toilets and bathrooms, real nice properties where they can really live well. Feeling that if they don't, some people may not want to live but if you give them enough money that they feel they can move somewhere else, then the money has to be given to them so that you have a human face of what is going on.
Slums are part of the world's human habitation challenges, and countries like Ghana are making efforts to reduce slums. Issues of urbanization and slum upgrading should be one of government's development agenda to prevent the occurrence of new slums.
Stay with the issue of slums for a while, and in our slum series, located at the center of the capital of Fadama, popularly known as Sodom and Gomorrah in Accra, one of the country's biggest slums has expanded its boundaries over the years. With over 85,600 residents, the huge number is a great strain on the housing system in the community. First, to join us this Slum Dwellers series, we take a look at sheltered Old Fadama and the struggle in finding a place to lay one's head.
As expected of Islam, houses at Old Fadama are mainly wooden structures. Small rooms, some without windows, accommodate more than 10 people. Walking through the community, it is easy to spot one-story wooden structures. In an apparent disregard for careful planning and demarcation, these structures are built close to each other, a situation that hinders fire personnel in cases of emergency. In an effort to ensure safety and prevent loss of properties to fire, leadership have encouraged residents to invest in concrete buildings.
After every fire outbreak, we encourage, if you are in the position, put up a concrete structure so that at least you'll be safe. We have been living in constant fear, anticipating to move out of the community someday. And therefore, initially, you will agree with me that it's not advisable to invest so much when you know one day you'll be leaving. So that is why people make do with the wooden structures. Your wall is another person's wall. There's the need for ventilation, but there's no way we can advise them to open up these windows. It's not possible because if you open, you are opening into another person's room.
Philip Kuma also dismissed perception that residents illegally connect electricity to their homes. He insisted all connections to the national grid was done by qualified ECG personnel.
Meters have been supplied, we buy, we pay, and use the light. Maybe the wiring is not that decent, so that is what will make you think that people are just doing illegal connection. But that is not the point at all.
Kwame Amuzu has lived here with his wife for the past 12 years. He has now pulled down his one-room wooden structure and is almost through with the construction of a one-bedroom block building. A mason himself, it has taken him 3 months to get to the plastering stage. And according to him, he has done everything possible to ensure the building is safe.
Me to blocks, Papa. So far, I issue blocks 270. Mark 270. And I cement and so wake at home, issue 10 bags. Say, me plaster her, me we are not my ties for her. Nada be a carway ceiling. Yes, maybe. It's a share the minion and my book about 14 million. And to maybe be 16 million.
Like Amuzu, many of the residents put up their own buildings with the help of carpenters and masons in the community. Though residents are free to put up buildings if they have the means, the space available and nature of the structures do not allow for indoor plumbing. Aren't people allowed to build their own bathrooms in their rooms?
The point is that you will not get space for that. You will not get space for that. Like, if you can get space for that and it wouldn't affect the other people, no one cares, you can do it. But if you have to do it and this man comes out to say, no, this your bathroom is disturbing me, he has a right, he can report you to the opinion leaders, then they will bring you to the justice that no, they won't allow it, you better stop it and join the main bath out. Maybe the little space that you yourself may get to say you will use it to do, you will use it for different thing else. Because already you in your room, you are already congested.
Having spent the last 6 years in the community, Hassana Zakaria, A head porter who hails from Savelugu tells Joy News she shares this room with 10 other girls.
You understand? They all lie down by line. Some will be like this. Others will also be like this.
How is it for her? Is it comfortable?
Kamaya anlema enevo pin ma do my garle be the garia.
The garduma.
What she's saying is that the 11 is even too small for them. The room is big more than the number that is living in, so they feel comfortable.
Climbing and descending the stairs to the upper room of this one-story wooden structure is not a difficult task for Hassana and her roommates. But I struggled my way up and down, fearing a fall. Adelaide Arthur for Joy News.
Now, the embattled pharmaceutical company Tobinco has decided to withdraw a suit against the Food and Drugs Authority and has rather opted for an out-of-court settlement. Tobinco Pharmaceutical Company Limited earlier on applied for an interim injunction restraining the FDA from further destroying its imported products. Meanwhile, the FDA cautioned hospitals, pharmacies, licensed chemical shops and distributors of pharmaceutical products to return any medicines from Bliss GVS Pharma Limited in stock to their suppliers with immediate effect. A statement issued and signed by the Chief Executive Officer of the FDA, copied to the Ghana News Agency, said dossiers and documentation submitted to the FDA by Bliss GVS Pharma Limited, partner of Tobinco Pharmaceuticals, have been found to be forged. The statement added that this technically makes the transaction not worthy, but we'll move away from that particular story of Tobinco into another story now. An amount of 34 million euros and 62 million US dollars dollar loan purported to have been used to undertake an environmental project to improve sanitation in some parts of the country cannot be properly accounted for. The 2010 Auditor General's report on the second urban environmental project, a project under the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, revealed that almost 70% of the loan acquired for the project was used to pay foreign consultants. Etunam Say reports.
The Public Accounts Committee sitting on Monday looked at how funds meant to have been used to undertake the second urban environmental project was used.
The urban environmental sanitation project has one main objective, and the objective was to improve urban sanitation in Ghana's 5 main cities. Under the project arrangement, like I mentioned earlier on, the NDF fund of €9 million was mainly for institutional strengthening. And NDF, through collaboration with Ghana government, came out with the selection of a consultant, and that consultant should come from Netherlands, and that consultant was based within the project unit, and so he's being paid directly from the project which we have signed.
The project was funded by the World Bank, which gave out $62 million, 9 million euros was from Nordic Development Fund, and 25 million euros from French Development Agency Fund. Parliament approved these loans without looking at the implications.
The issue, when you look at it by considering both the resource and expenditure statement, alongside with the assets and liabilities, that is where you see the seriousness of the problem. We are told that non-capital expenditure for 2010 was 973,729, which means this is the amount that has been spent and is being amortized. So even the 157 is an amortized component. So it's worse. It means that the whole money is being consumed in consultancy.
I wonder why a consultant should come from Netherlands to come and tell our district assemblies that the equipment that are broken down must be repaired. And that we pay him huge sums of money for coming to tell us that go. And we approve, I mean, yes, we approve the loan. And then we approve the loan for them to come and tell us that, Massa, your broken down vehicle must be repaired.
Next time in Parliament, should we approve such a loan? Or shouldn't we approve such a loan? And for me, that is why I think it's very good that we are here to discuss this. Then when we are writing our report, we can tell Parliament that next time we should be guarded against such a loan when it appears.
The AG's report also cited issues of bank reconciliation, taxes and missing checkbooks, but officials who were responsible for these malfeasance were not sanctioned. The areas expected to have benefited from the project are the Greater Accra region, Tema, Kumasi, Tamale and Sekondi Takoradi, though the project ended on December 2012. Project managers say they needed more time to gather facts on how successful the project was.
We didn't benefit from storm drain. We benefited from an upgrading, community upgrading. And if you go to Tamale now and you know the Abu market, you look on your right when you're going towards the Abu market, it was a slum sort of community. But as a result of this project, the roads, the sanitation, everything was done.
Very specific, what you are saying. We want you to tell us improvement. For example, household, we have improved toiletry in 60 houses, 100 houses. Then we can verify. For example, the revenue improvement, we used to earn our revenue 20 million, now it's 40 million. Then we can verify. These are type of improvement we expected from you. Then when you come to the sanitation around Ababu, I'm sure you know Ababu market is still the same. It has not even improved when you know Ababu market in Tamale.
Specifics. So if you think that you want to go into these details, you can give us another time to appear and those details can be approved. But for now, immediately, it may be difficult to give those details.
Etonam saying, Joy News.
Now, the decomposed body of an unidentified woman believed to be in her mid-20s was retrieved by the police from a litter bin behind the Morning Star High School at Tantra Hill in Accra on Monday. Beg your pardon. Speaking to the Daily Graphic after depositing the body at the police hospital morgue in Accra, the district crime officer at the Mile 7 police station, Deputy Superintendent of Police Henry Agbava, said the police moved to the scene following persistent complaints by school authorities of an unbearable stench in the area. The police suspect that the woman has been dead for at least 3 days, given the extent of decomposition. And that's all for the AM News, but let's check out the top stories again. The FDA has ordered pharmaceutical retailers to immediately pull all Bliss GVS pharma drugs off their shelves. Meanwhile, Tobinco has withdrawn their suit against the FDA, and slums mushroom across Accra as desperate residents try to put a roof over their heads. My name is Nyako Fismata. The AM show continues, and in a bit, Gifty Ando Apia will be joining me, so we take you through the rest of the show. Okay, you're still watching the AM show, and Gifty Ando Apia is with me. It's now time for sports, so the authentic sports analyst of the AM show is here. Good morning, Gifty.
Of course, nobody, not even smart, can beat me to that. Hello there, I'm excited to see you this morning, and this is where we talk sports. Okay, so what do we have in the beginning?
Well, the former Black Stars captain Siki Akuno has questioned the timing of the recall of Olele, or Richard Kingston as he is known. The 35-year-old who now plays for the Cypriot side, Doxa Katokopias, has been missing from the Black Stars in the last 21 months. Coach Kwesi Appiah has recalled Kingston into the team ahead of Ghana's crucial first leg final World Cup qualifier against Egypt at the Baba Yara Stadium in Kumasi next week, Tuesday, that's October 15. But the ex-Ghana international Siki Akuno, who has also played with Kingston, tells Joy Sports he would rather Kingston be recalled to the national team after Ghana qualifies for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil.
Kingston's invitation is a laudable gesture. Don't get me wrong. I'm just worried about the timing. You know what I mean? Now, if you invite Kingston is a big name as far as goalkeeping in this country is concerned, the national team. Are you going to play him or are you going to put him on the bench? If you put him on the bench, you put a lot of pressure on Fatah Dawda. I'm not against it, but I'm just worried about the timing because if he should play, that is fine. He has the experience. Don't get me wrong. His experience is going to help us. But I would have thought that maybe after we've qualified, then he comes in, and then of course with his rich experience, help the young ones and the other guys as well.
So you have Siki Akuno worried about the timing of the recall of Ole Kinson.
Why are you guys raising so many issues about Ole Kinson? Let's just give the guy a chance. Let's just give the guy a chance. You never know. Yeah. All right, so we're still dealing with some more former Black Star players. Now, former Black Stars captain and safest pair of hands, Abukari Damba, has revealed to Joy Sports that he is partly to blame for Ghana's inability to qualify for the 1994 World Cup, hosted by the United States of America. Now, Ghana could not progress to the final qualifying phase of that World Cup due to a 2-0 loss to Algeria in Algiers. Abukari Damba says he accepts partial responsibility for that loss.
It's part of my fault simply because there was so much confidence that was imposed on me, and everybody was looking up to me, and it was quite disappointing because it was not because of my inability or not being a capable goalkeeper, but the circumstances did not allow me to perform how I should have performed. It was quite disappointing. But anytime I look back to it, I feel very, very disappointed, but still, I still take inspirations from the fact that I had a lot to learn. So based on that, when I talk to young up-and-coming goalkeepers, I let them know that they can, along the line, they will meet such circumstances and how they are going, how they should, be able to deal with these circumstances.
Okay, so away from football now, let's do some cricket. And cricket in Ghana will see a major facelift in the coming days after an Indian philanthropist and cricketer, Akoliya Patel, donated a world-class oval situated at the Achimota School worth $120,000 to the Ghana Cricket Association. The oval is expected to enhance the performance of the Ghanaian cricketers in local and international competitions.
Has been known as the cradle of cricket here in Ghana, because we had the first cricket oval, and in fact the national team uses this place as its home ground. So the students play cricket. We have forever played cricket in Ghana, so that if you look at the Ghana national team, you see that most of them are Achimotans. So this cricket oval, an additional one, is very important to us.
First of all, I like cricket. I'm from India, so Indians, we are playing cricket a lot. And then I'm player for the cricket. So I decided to start this. I don't know that I spent this much in the starting. While it was going on, I was forced to do this because I cannot leave halfway. It was not easy to finish, but by God's grace, I was able to do this. We thank God for that.
Well, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of analysis. What did I say?
Analysis.
Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of analysis to make, so I think, that's it for sports.
Is it that you're not competent when it comes to cricket, or
no, but
your analysis
what
level
is
has
there
not
to
reached
analyze? I mean,
cricket?
the guy has played, whatever.
Okay, so that's it for sports, brought to you by Tigo.